What was the theme the first time around? Were we talking springs?
I think so, because remember, you ended with Sweet Talking Guy. We were talking about spring songs.
Yes. Well, now
things that brought us into spring.
It's the first Saturday of summer now, and it's the first 24 hours of summer. And I wanted to talk about summer themes, summer sounds, summer music, because of course, summer sounds and summer music are two different things. And I don't know where the hell to start. Here's the thing. First place to start. Number one. Brian Wilson died, and we got to talk about the Beach Boys just a little bit, because me growing up, whenever the Beach Boys came up, somebody would make a comment about how much Jeffrey was his favorite. So I want Jeffrey just to talk a little bit about the death of Brian Wilson and what went through your head when you heard about that, and the Beach Boys, and that'll open up the doors to summer for us all, I'm sure.
Thank you, Frank. Brian Wilson was my idol. He was my inspiration. I have loved the sound of the Beach Boys since I was 4 or 5 years old. And when I found out about his death, it was as if a family member had died. I was very, very upset. At the Beach Boys' 50th anniversary concert, May 15th, 2012, at Westchester County Center in White Plains, I almost was able to shake his hand, and give him a note of thanks for all the great music that he wrote for the Beach Boys and for the world, of course. But at the last minute, a few security guards said, no, we can't let you that close to him.
They took a baton to your leg.
Yeah. I tried to post it to his website. I tried to email it, and I was never able to do it. So that was definitely frustrating. But I can tell you, and I think millions of people share this sentiment, Frank and Anthony and everyone else in the studio. Brian Wilson was a genius. He was the driving force behind America's band, the Beach Boys. And I'm not sure there will ever be another Brian Wilson. He wrote some of the most beautiful music ever recorded. I'll give you an example. God Only Knows, off the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds album in 1966, has been called by Paul McCartney as the most beautiful song ever written. So that goes to show you the scope of the genius of Brian Wilson.
Do you guys? Would you? Everybody in this room as Beach Boys fans, would you put that at the top, or are there deeper tracks that you would say were the best song that they wrote, or whatever? Or is this one of those situations where their hits are the best songs and they just have so many hits?
Go ahead. You go.
I was just going to reiterate what you asked us about that particular song. What Jeffrey just said is absolutely true. Anybody who you will talk to in the music industry, anybody who understands music, it is by far certainly the most incredible produced record.
Sgt. Pepper's, you said?
Oh, totally.
So they're just feeding off each other.
There was a friendly competition between the Beatles and the Beach Boys. There's no question about it. They loved each other's sounds, but there were friendly competitions. And imagine the pressure that Brian Wilson put on himself trying to compete with John Lennon and Paul McCartney. It's no wonder that he had a nervous breakdown. He sat down to write Pet Sounds and said, okay, I'm now going to write the greatest album ever composed. It's amazing. And he came very close to doing that.
I know that he didn't, maybe I got this wrong, but I know Kokomo, even those later ones, I don't know if that was, if some stuff was written for them and they recorded, or did they write that one?
They wrote that.
I don't think, because
Mike Love of the Beach Boys wrote that song, and it hit number one in 1988. It was in the Cocktail, right, with Tom Cruise. It was in the movie Cocktails or Cocktail. I'm not sure the title of the movie. And they invited Brian Wilson to participate on that track, and he said, I just can't.
So he wasn't on it.
Like us.
So he wasn't on it?
He was not on that track. No, he was not involved in that. His brother Carl was. who was one of the co-lead singers of the Beach Boys, Carl Wilson. As a matter of fact, I used to plot escapes from day camp.
Yeah, I hated it.
I did not like day camp at all. So that ended in a relatively short period.
She's gone.
Hey, you said you were talking. I know last time we were talking about the World's Fairs, and of course I have some Playland footage that I've been collecting all over the internet from the 30s and the 50s, and it's wonderful to watch. But what about local carnivals and fairs? Like, what would you say about local carnivals? I want to know sights, sounds, smells of local carnivals that used to be around that haven't been around for ages.
Well, the first one that jumps out at me, and I know Anthony will agree with me on this, the St. Anthony's Feast directly across the street from Holy Rosary Church, right?
Of course.
Cousin Bobby and Cousin Karen had the pizza frite stand. It was
all the Italian women inside making it.
Yep.
I mean, we're talking real Italian women. We're talking generationally from the 30s and the 40s. Flowered dresses, big arms, making pizza free.
And the aroma of the pizza free, you could smell it from blocks away.
Oh my God, from Fox Island.
The pizza free always trumps funnel cake for me.
Oh, yeah.
I love the smell of funnel cake as well, that kind of like waffly, pancakey sweetness, but oh man, pizza free.
It was gravy and cheese and maybe hot pepper. And from Columbus, hurry up.
The kids would go crazy. Absolutely.
They would go crazy. You would hear kids going, wait, stop.
Wait a second. Wait, let me, I just found a vintage Good Humor truck. Did it look like this?
Of course.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see.
You had Teddy too, Marianne, because you were right near there.
That was it.
That was it.
I want to see if he plays the music.
Oh my gosh, with the chocolate bar right in the middle. That was it.
Oh, I'm dying for a chocolate sundae with the vanilla underneath that bittersweet chocolate.
I'll take a strawberry shortcake, please.
Oh, that's what I like.
I remember when chocolate eclair came out. It was it was a specialty. It was a special. Remember, it was a delicacy.
It was. It was.
Where's hold on, I want to hear the actual song. Let's see, ice cream truck, Good Humor truck, what song?
Teddy.
Come on. It's got to be a better one.
It was sort of like that.
Oh, I know this. Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know. We still had the Good Humor truck. It didn't look like that. It wasn't OG.
Your Good Humor truck, didn't it stop on Glen Avenue? You used to run over to Glen Avenue.
Sometimes.
That's where usually it would stop. I remember.
Sometimes, yeah.
On Betsy Brown Circle, that's where we would run. He would end up on Glen Avenue.
I used to. I don't know. Yeah, that was really. I love that. Those are great.
And my grandfather used to go, here's the $1. Go buy for everybody. Because they were 10 cents. And
you could do it.
Aunt Mary, get me coffee if they don't have toasted almond.
What, coffee ice cream, or do they actually have? They had hot coffee in the.
Well, no, coffee ice cream. Aunt Mary, even though she wouldn't put milk in anything, she would only have coffee ice cream.
Huh.
That's the only milky thing she'd have, or toasted almond.
Cousin Jody remembers Mark and Tone and Teddy. She just texted me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a high shout out to my daughter Courtney, who's watching the show, saying it's great, Frank.
They should call in. They should call
I'm
in.
going to open up the lines a little bit for sure. So wait, okay. So I wanted to ask you guys about carnivals and fairs. So you're talking about St. Anthony's. Anything else? Did you have something you want to say?
Oh no.
Okay. Any other place like I don't know. I guess that's the one that was really just in the middle of it all.
But Corpus Christi came much later.
That was for me and Anthony.
Yeah,
that was later.
That was ours.
No, that was ours.
It was. I think.
And it's gone now.
Is it really?
It's gone.
Officially?
Officially, it's some ethnic festival. It's not
Oh,
it's not what it
wow.
was. Something
You're
completely
kidding.
Yeah.
Because the
Wow.
people aren't there to do it.
First of all, that was like you were describing, Corpus Christi Carnival was when all of our friends, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and parents were, Jonathan Morano and his grandparents with
Exactly.
the pizza frita, and the people would show up to do one
All
thing
of
or
our
another.
cousins who are no longer alive, who
Yeah.
were major people that made sure it was right. Dear Dennis Bokikio, who retired, who was the electrician, who put that together every year for decades.
I don't know if you were around. I don't know. You may be, but that year that New York we had the big blackout from New York City all the way up into Westchester. I think
1977.
2003.
Yeah, 2003.
Oh,
or
that
4.
one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Around
of course.
2003. That was a very interesting summer. That blackout happened like in August or something. Oh, it had to be, because that's when the Corpus Christi Carnival would be on. And it was the hottest week
Yes.
of the year.
Yes, it
and
was.
Went out. Everybody thought it was terrorism. And
Yeah.
but in the meantime, the only lights on in the entire town, aside from the gas stations on Boston Post Road that had their own generators and stuff, the only lights on in the entire town was the carnival. They brought in all these generated lights.
Wow.
And so it became this glow that you can see from like the other side of town, that you just walk toward it and you're going to get to the carnival.
Oh my God.
It was something that we got to do in the middle of all of that
I
that
had no
craziness.
idea.
Yeah, that was a pretty. And we're coming up on the end of the good times there as far as childhood goes. We're all in high school and stuff. That was really wonderful.
Frank, can I
2003.
share a quick story
Yeah.
about summers back in the 60s? And I
Yeah.
know Anthony will jump on this with me.
And and mom, if I don't know, there's a microphone next to you. If it's plugged in, it should be on. So in case you have to say something.
Hello,
yeah, just in
Marianne.
case you have to say. Okay, go ahead, Jeff.
I'm driving about a week and a half ago, and I'm listening to the 60s channel on Sirius XM, and the morning show hosted by a gentleman named Flash Phelps. I'm sorry. He has a feature called City of the Day. The city of the day on that specific day that I was listening to was Margaretville,
Oh
New
my
York.
God. Oh my
Now,
God.
why is that important?
Margaretville.
Oh my
Margaretville,
God.
New York was where all of the families within our family core would load up like a caravan, like a convoy, and go to a summer house up there for long weekends.
What, like Dirty Dancing or something?
No,
They
it was a cabin where it was called the Triple R Ranch or
the
something.
triple dude.
It was like a cabin
The
where
triple
all the
R-
men would go hunting. So they all would go there like in the winter or after Thanksgiving. But it was also owned by people in our family. And we would go there. The whole family went. The whole family went.
There were at least 7 to 8 cars following each other
Yep.
when we went up there, and we had long weekends. And I remember the breakfasts prepared by
Oh my
Uncle Ray
God.
and your father. The
Yeah,
best
my father was alive.
breakfasts you could ever possibly have. The food was great. Do you remember your mother? All she would do was clean the cabin.
That's all they did. They cleaned the entire time they were there, even though we were only there for a weekend. And it was an amazing time. And there was this place called Margaretville. And I remember there was also these hillbilly types. They weren't, but they lived upstate New York near this area. This is the Catskills. And I remember Uncle Ray would take us. We all went up to see these people. I could remember these two people, an old couple. And the woman screamed out to us. We were all coming in the cars. Hey, Ray, we got a new toilet. I remember it like it was yesterday. And then we went up there, and her husband couldn't hear at all. Now someone would get hearing aids or something. She was, Ray's here, if she was screaming. And the dust was this thick. And then we had to go up. We didn't know these people. I was a shy kid. And we all had to hug these people, and I was sort of pulling back, and then I hugged her. And through my whole life, I hear that woman saying, "Oh, you're an old softy." And these were little adventures. We went down to Margaretville, which now, by the way, is a very developed she artistic place, art galleries, built up, beautiful eateries.
But it was a little bit more scenic back then, you're saying.
Scenic? There was nothing in the town.
Just wilderness.
They said, come on, kids, you ever see this before? And they brought us inside the store. It's a color TV. Color TV.
That's where you saw your first one?
No, we already had color TV.
Oh, the people in Margaretville.
They thought
Margaretville,
we were going to see a new thing, the color TVs.
Like, oh, thank you.
There
Thank
was
you.
a parade. There were 2 people in it. It was just a wonderful time.
So what else did you? Was there more you wanted to put onto that thought, Jeff? About,
No, I just wanted to say it was a great thing to look forward to each summer.
And you heard
to
this
have
this
these
town
5
reference
or
on
6 families take this trek in this big convoy type line of cars going up there. Wonderful memories. There's a classic picture of me. I must have been maybe 7 or 8,
Kissing it?
where I kissed it goodbye. It was one of the last times we were there. I actually kissed the cabin goodbye. We called it the cabin.
I think that we took Brandy
Really?
up there.
what, the dog?
There's a picture of Brandy on the back porch of the cabin with Grandpa.
Interesting.
It was amazing. And then I will say, we had a very interesting situation happen because as we were leaving on one of our ventures, all in a convoy from Fox Island, great grandma, everybody was saying, "Goodbye, we're going to be gone for the weekend. Goodbye."
It's like the Titanic.
And that's when the house was robbed.
Well, jeez, what? Wait, really?
We made, Grandma Rose, great Grandma Rose to you guys, made an announcement on South Main Street. We'll be gone for the weekend. We're all going.
Why?
Yeah. Mike,
Nobody's going to be home.
yeah, Mikey, just, if you get a
Have
chance,
fun.
keep an eye on things. We'll be gone. Wow.
Nobody's
And
gonna be
then-
home.
When she found out we got robbed, she started banging the walls, walking in a circle. On that weekend was also the weekend of the Manson murders.
Oh, my goodness.
Just kept getting worse.
And it was 1969. So much had happened. Woodstock was yet to happen. There was so much happening.
There's
You
the
didn't know
break-in.
what was going to happen day to day. You really didn't. You really did not.
Oh, I didn't even know that there was ever a break-in of like that. I never heard the story before.
Oh, it's true. It's
Oh, yeah.
definitely true.
Wow.
Connie was there alone because she wanted to stay home because it was her 21st birthday. And she wanted to be with her friends.
Was she out when it got robbed, or was she home?
Yes. No, God forbid.
Oh, thank God.
When she got home, and could you imagine the weirdness? Seeing things opened up.
Yeah.
Seeing that.
I wouldn't
and
be able to go to sleep.
It was very odd.
Quickly, Cousin Jody said, what about the big dance we all got ready for, all dressed up and decked out in Margaretville? We thought it was a rock dance.
Oh, yeah.
Then when we got there was one couple in the A&P parking lot doing a square dance.
Yes.
I remember that vividly.
Yes. We were all dressed up.
Thank you, Jody. Great story. I remember that vividly.
Oh my God, I remember it. And we used to go. There was a song. The name of the the name of the movie theater was Gallagherky.
Gallagherky.
Gallagherky. And we used to do a song. Margaretville, you're the one for us.
We had a soundtrack for the trip. every portion of the trip had a soundtrack. There's no
Shit,
question.
this is the stuff that we did when all the places we go to. We make songs for
I know.
like Minerva.
Right.
Yeah, we always made songs.
We
up.
called these big houses cabins. And you know what's funny? I have all this 1993 footage, and you were talking about up in Margaretville how all grandma and all the women did, which is it was just constantly cleaning, whereas
Yeah.
other people are constantly cooking. I actually had to scan forward to there's this hold on up on the screen. Let me see if I can get you guys up there with me. Hold on a second. There is Dad
That's
and
Mavis Staple.
and there is Jeff. Okay, so in the this is all the ladies getting together and talking. This is the famous get together in the back of Marie's house, and all of the great aunts are sitting together and talking about family history, and
Right.
they're just
Now that's the other side.
right. They're just yapping, and it's the greatest yapping ever. But it keeps cutting over to who I forget who it is. Some older woman that is constantly cleaning. That's all she's doing.
I know who that is.
Who was it?
And that is Mary. That's Mary Valentine, who was almost 100 by then.
So is that Kevin's grandmother?
No, it's Kevin's great aunt.
Okay, so here.
That was Marie's aunt.
Let's
And
see.
she never would stop cleaning.
Let's see here.
But that was people in general. You kept on cleaning.
I love this one. Hold on
That's
a second.
that's some.
This is the moon.
And do what you think is best way.
Yeah.
There she is. Everybody's talking.
That's Mary.
Over Monday, just be fair.
She never stopped.
Sometimes I look back and I think to myself, how could I ever do it?
You're still living in the same apartment here?
Look, Aunt Jeffrey, that's Aunt Jenny and Aunt Mary.
Look at
Jenny and
Yeah, you came to see me in Glendale. Yeah, I'm still in the same apartment.
There's Clara.
I was thinking,
Look, she's still going at it.
Oh yeah, and I purposely, she keeps going.
I've got so much footage.
you got her
I
little
have enough for a
bath.
documentary.
There's a lot of energy.
Just
No
tonight.
bath tonight. No bath tonight.
They all had a lot of energy. They always did.
This conversation is great to listen to. It's great to listen to. It's just great to watch all the facial expressions.
I knew that was epic when I shot it.
It's really good. It's really good stuff. Especially if we can get some subtitles in there. But it's pretty easy to listen to all the conversations clearly, and you get some great family history in there too. Let's see. Okay, so we talked about carnivals and fairs. Oh, you want to see some Playland footage?
Yeah.
Take a look at this. This is Playland Amusement Park around 1950. First of all, I didn't even know that there was a softball field back there. And I'm seeing footage of these older guys that are just, having a game of softball. There's a great there. Look at Dusk, 1950-ish.
You know something? I'm getting a weird. I have fragments of memories of being taken to softball games when I was very, very young.
Yeah.
It could have been there.
What about the boat? Do you ever get
There's
into
the
those
lake
boats?
cruise.
I never was on that boat. Did you ever go on that boat,
Yeah.
Marianne?
Yeah, a couple of times I was on that.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay.
It looks like something out of a movie. You'd be surprised how much Playland footage there is on the internet, right from its opening in the 20s, and it's just great. Well, the canoes and all that stuff, but there's more. The tower's still there. No, the interior and all of the gardening is incredible. Right here in the.
Yeah.
I know they tried to bring a lot of this back, but
Frank?
yeah.
I tried to find footage of the boomerang ride that Grandpa used to work,
Yeah.
and I found it about 10 years ago or so, and now no more. Can't find any pictures at all.
Well, I bet you any money they exist, because there's something else I found today. There is an extensive archive through Westchester County government of all. I'm talking about. I found 350 pages of pictures of Playland throughout the years.
Wow.
I'm no doubt about it. There's got to be some shot of the boomerang, but I mean, it's just wonderful to see all this stuff caught on picture. The acrobats, just all the different acts. What the hell's? I never had any remote control boats.
I remember those.
I remember those boats very well.
Are those bumper boats?
No.
Sort of, weren't they?
I don't recall them being bumper boats.
Jeez, that was awesome.
They were pretty big rides if you think about it. They were lengthy rides.
Wait a minute, that's the one that burned. That's the
old mill?
the flying carpet.
Oh, that was it. Yep.
1966. I remember them. We were down Fox Island. Did you hear the flying carpet burned down last night? Over the top. Yeah.
Jeez. Damn. They look like great rides
You
still.
don't have Playland footage from when you guys went
No.
at Little? No?
No. I mean, maybe. I don't know if you guys took any footage. I haven't.
There is.
There's perhaps. I haven't looked through it enough to earmark it. I should have. There's just so much stuff here. You want to talk about carnivals and play. I mean, that's one thing there too. It's the carnivals and Playland at night when it comes to summers for me.
We never went to Playland during the day.
It's not good to go during the day.
It was always at night.
Yeah.
Always.
You got to be there with when it's glowing. You have to.
Yeah, that's part of the charm. Absolutely.
But there's more here. There's just so much more I have. I don't know if you guys wanted to do this. I have more from summer 1993. Now, Dad, I don't know what the hell this is. It might be Memorial Day or something, but I guess you were asked to sing something in the park.
Wait a minute.
Do you know what the hell this could have been?
This is not the park. Isn't that up at the high school?
By John Federico.
Let me see here.
Is that song America?
I think so.
Oh, wait a minute. This is up at the park on Westchester Avenue.
I thought that.
There you are. I didn't know what the hell this was.
Is that you in the white jacket?
Here is this? 1993.
Ladies and gentlemen, the song for America.
I don't even remember the song. The what?
The Shades. You had nice glasses.
When a soldier walks by, I am filled up with pride for America. There's a lump in my throat and a tear in my eye.
Well, you have to have
It
cans
sounds
on.
like the lyrics from Hallmark movies.
But what was this? Was this Memorial Day?
It probably was a Memorial
probably
Day
Memorial
observation.
Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just didn't. This I might have seen this in the past, but because shortly after that we had a lot of there's a lot of 4th of July stuff here. I wanted to show this because you wanted to talk about the backyard and stuff. Let me see, 1990, 49 minutes. 49 minutes or 40? Oh, who's that? That's either Anthony or me on Jeff's back in the pool.
It looks like Anthony.
It's me with those floaties.
Look at Anthony's hair. Your hair didn't grow that way.
I want to dive in.
So do I.
Oh, I want to dive in. Oh my gosh.
I know it's the best part. The best part was always that right there.
That spot?
The spot of sunlight that
oh
we
my
would get.
God. I'm looking at the same thing.
We would get those spots of sunlight, and that would always be great. The warmest spots to be in. So you just stand there because it would be pretty cool. It really would be. I mean, there's always.
But the thing is that when the pool was first put there, the trees weren't as big, and the sun really covered the pool a good portion of the day earlier in the day.
That was it. In the morning, the sun covered the pool entirely.
Completely. And then there was Wihiwachi time in the afternoon from like about 4 or something, where it looked like Hawaii and you were going in and out of the sun.
Right.
Here's a little bit more. Hold on. Let's see. It's from 49 minutes. I have a couple of time stops here.
There we go.
So this is just taking in the what's going on in the back. There's Mom. There's Grandpa, I think, and Grandma.
I wonder where the music is. That a record or?
I don't know, but it's earlier in the day because it gets a lot more packed. There's Anthony and Rob, Uncle Rob.
People came and go. That's the thing. Holidays, people just kept on coming and going.
Well, here's the nighttime, and this is the now here. I'll say this. This right here. Hold on. Let's get to the nighttime. This is something I always loved. In the night, I always wished one thing would be true. That we can see. You see how we always had great light on this half of we needed light on the other half.
That's true.
The second half of that pool, when I was a kid, I stayed away from it because it was just darker. I thought that there was a shark. I thought that there was a shark in the dark end of the pool.
I get it.
I said, Dick, why couldn't we just have another halogen light? Jeez. But these night swims that we captured,
they were great
because the water was warmer.
Yeah. There's Maria.
Pam! Put your leg up, Maria, on top of the deck.
No, Ree, you gotta do it from the side.
Yeah. And Pam.
Yeah, her last film.
God forbid, Ree.
And they're starting to get.
Perfect, Ree.
We're starting to get closer to the fireworks. You can hear all that starting to build up now.
Yeah.
Let me see. At 49? We're still there. 49?
So this is 4th of July.
This is 4th of July.
And that was the most magical time of all.
Yeah.
And the Jello's got towels inside.
Everybody's getting ready. All the babies. Nobody's going to sleep.
Let them go in.
Oh my God.
You just gotta hear. You just have to listen to the sounds.
Oh my God.
It's wonderful.
Now the shots through the trees.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me of that scene in the Sopranos.
Yeah.
When the door is open.
Through the trees,
you know,
look at this.
everybody's laughing. Everybody's talking.
Just the best.
Look at all the lights.
Yeah.
That's when we had all the lights all over the yard.
They don't work? That son of a bitch. Wait till I see him.
Love kiss.
Hey, Rob. Not the way you used to. You could be able to see the
They
whole...
try to say Nicky Beans robbed Grandma's house.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did and sold everything. That's
Now here's another one. Hold on. Oh, wait a second. Did Aunt Joni just say something about who robbed Grandma's house?
I don't know.
Did she just make a reference to the robbery?
Could have been.
Hold on. Wait. Listen.
Can
Listen.
you rewind?
Listen very closely.
Not the way you used to. You could be able to see the
They
whole...
try to say Nicky Beans robbed Grandma's house.
They're trying to say Nicky Veens robbed Grandma's house. Who's that? What?
That could be a reference.
That was a reference to the robbery.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I
But
think it
how?
was.
Isn't that weird?
That it just came up all those years later.
All those years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. Holy shit. Okay. Hold on. Just a couple more seconds.
Maybe he did.
Now, first of all.
And I said maybe he did.
Yeah. And let's just call a little bit of attention. There's Amanda, who just had her 4th child the other day.
Oh my God.
And there she is
Wonderful
as a
news.
beautiful, bulging cheeked baby. And
She was cute.
Maybe he
as
did
a
and sold
baby.
everything.
I
That's
think he's too stupid. He left everything so neat.
He's had 15 wives.
15 wives.
yeah. So I just wanted to show because you want to talk about sights and sounds of summer.
Oh my God. That is everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really something else.
And, you know, it's so weird. Like when I was reading Helter Skelter, in my mind, Sharon Tate was murdered across the street because the house, the brick house, the Lombardi house, I pictured them all in the bottom of the hill, coming up the driveway all my life. Still, I was walking the dog the other day, and I went, "Oh, this is where Sharon Tate was murdered."
You know, I gotta say, there is a, as much as I love there is a safety with the lights on in this backyard, and then as soon as everybody starts going away, I get creeped out by everything.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was always on. I don't know, Anthony, if you feel the same way, especially when we would hang out in the living room and cousins would come by and tea and coffee would be served and all that stuff. Sometimes it would be the shit that you guys would watch, whether it would be hard copy or something else. Wow. And there'd be some kind of an investigation, and it would be a headshot of either somebody who was just murdered or somebody, and I'd be like, oh, I would think that they were like upstairs in one of the bedrooms.
Yeah.
God,
well, I could
I'd be
remember
freaked out every
sitting
night
in the living room reading Salem's Lot and Betsy Brown.
Scary.
I had to finish the book. It was sunny. The next morning, I could not. I was expecting Danny Glick to come in the back door.
floating, just knocking on the window. Oh man, I remember one night, who the hell was it? It might have been Candy or somebody made a reference to, and I was very young. I hadn't seen The Godfather yet, but someone made a reference to leaving the horse's head in somebody's bed.
Okay.
And I didn't know what the hell that meant, but all I of a sudden I was afraid of a horse's head, and I thought, like, I kept looking down the hallway. I thought, like, the horse's head was gonna be peeking out of somebody's bedroom. Like, I can't tell you that the imagination would kill me sometimes. It would just be nuts.
It was just also, I don't know what the association. There was something also about the shadows, the way they fell on Betsy Brown's circle, the round corners of the house. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, is that Uncle Ralph? It usually is. It's usually your dad, Jeff.
My dad.
That would bring.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That way, he would be the only one that would bring any fun fireworks stuff if it wasn't for Uncle Ralph or Scotty.
Yeah, that's right. That sounds right.
If it weren't for them, we were not going to get anything.
And I can guarantee to you.
What's this? Jeff just did something?
What's the
But
song?
maybe it is.
I don't know, but I have something else for you guys. This must have happened just a little bit after this. It is at 55 minutes and 27 seconds. Hold on a second. 55:20. This is all. I mean, if I love watching this stuff, I would watch it all night.
I know.
55:27. Both of you actually took so much footage of the protest at the Diamond Club, the topless bar.
Oh my God, that was so big.
It was enormous. I mean, there's so many people in here.
I forgot about that.
Listen,
That's true.
wait a second. Watch this.
It's so stupid when you think of it. Dorchester clean.
A lot of people showed up. They didn't want. Well, first of all, Goldie's here. I have her on. I have a timestamp for Goldie Solomon. Now I know that there was a lot of issues. I mean, it was mostly there's a lot of connected businesses in that area, and there's a lot of prostitution going on. So it wasn't just a titty bar.
No, of course not.
But I couldn't believe how much turnout is. You couldn't get anybody to come out of the house for anything now. There could be a wildfire about to engulf the entire town. People
They
would
didn't
just
care. This was all about the Diamond Club. No, you know what? You would never get people doing this today.
Was this in the early 90s, probably?
It's 93.
No, okay, you said that. Sorry, 93.
I'm telling you, this is what I'm saying. As far as from everything I've been able to analyze in these tapes, 1993 is so complete from the beginning of the year all the way through the summer I have wonderful 1993 Columbus Day Parade footage over here. And then it goes right into the Thanksgiving and Christmas. This is such a complete year, at least archive-wise. I love watching it. But here's the whole, Jeff at 1 hour and 20 minutes, he inserts himself into the picket line.
No.
Yeah, hold on. Wait.
What?
Yeah, hold on. At 1:20, it cuts to Debbie's.
Well, everybody went down there because we were having so much fun with it.
Hold on. 1:20:35. All right, let's see here.
The priest from Corpus Christi.
Wait. Somebody says hi to Dad, and then watch Jeff pop up. Wait a second. Wait. It's coming up. It's coming up.
See, you gotta listen. People say that you don't listen to negative things. Nothing you say negative. I'm just telling you, I don't want to tell you what you said again. I know.
It's right here. I don't know why I went. Here you go.
Hey, Lena.
What are you typing this for, Anthony?
I'm making a film.
What are you taping this for, Anthony? I'm making a film now. Now watch. Here comes Jeff. There he is.
Oh my God.
Somebody must have dared me. I do now that I see it. Somebody must have dared me to do that. Somebody must
I
have dared.
don't remember you doing it.
I do. I hadn't thought of that in years. Somebody must have dared me.
You guys got to watch these movies. You have to watch
I'm
these.
telling you, you forget things. It's so true, Frank.
It's so good. It's so easy to duplicate too.
How long was
Everybody dared.
how long was the Diamond Club there for?
Oh my God! It was there for a while.
It was there for a
after.
while. Then it went under new management. I think it was called. I think after the Diamond Club left, it was called Knockouts for a little while.
Maybe.
Wasn't it also the Upper Deck? If I remember, it was called the Upper Deck. Anyway,
That's probably I
a
don't
lot
know.
of different names. Absolutely.
It was just they could only do boobs though.
So ridiculous when you think of it.
1:30.
There were all kinds of stripper-esque places in Portchester when we were little kids. All over the place.
Mostly hush hush though. You knew what was going on.
Exactly. But like I said, you would never get this today.
No, and here's Goldie Solomon. Where's Goldie? I had 1 hour 38 minutes. Let me go back 10 seconds just to be.
Goldie loved it.
Well, there she is. Oh, maybe go back another 10 seconds. Maybe we can see her more of her. Hold on.
Keep walking.
There she is. Wait. Right here. Here she comes. Wait.
This is better than showbiz.
Oh my God.
This is the greatest show on earth, right?
She was in her element.
She was in her element. She just
having
probably
the time of her life.
Yeah, she just probably loves seeing people organizing.
Yeah.
What happened?
No, just a reference.
She just probably loves seeing people organizing.
Where was
She loved it.
Yeah.
The fact that the whole town was together.
I know.
That was more important.
Yeah.
It didn't even matter. Like I said, things in life have changed so much. You would not. People would come across this and get hysterical from laughing. They wouldn't take it seriously now at all.
Yeah, everybody looks just happy to be there.
Exactly.
Where was Joe?
Happy to be anywhere. Nothing's opened up that late. We can't get a diner open.
You know, I saw somebody that wrote an article I have to bring up on the show soon, talking about how it's just impossible and how the whole idea of being able to, oh, you know what? I can't go to sleep. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee. I'm gonna go eat a sandwich. That there's less and less places.
That's right.
And I want to know what people think. If they kept them open, just tried it, how do you know? There's a diner who right now I think is going to be closing called the BLD, where it was loaded with people because it was the only place open late. Now they're closing earlier. It's crazy. People still go out. People still want a place to eat something or just hang.
I don't know.
If these people think you're not going to change us.
Well, I mean, it's been accelerated since 2020. It's accelerated since the lockdowns. And I don't know if some people did become a little bit more reclusive. I don't know if obviously businesses have.
I know certain people that are still inside.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A business is not going to cut off its nose.
I get it.
If the bottom line is showing it costing us more to stay open to midnight or even 24 hours.
But there's got to be somebody. I mean, I know that we have Glory Days stays open later, not till all night.
I think they do. I think they're they're one of the only places. There's only
everybody's there. Yeah. It's like the old days, and it's wonderful.
Wait, where's this?
It's in Greenwich.
Glory Days Diner in Greenwich?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's where Aaron Boone picks his nose.
And
Aaron Boone often eats there.
I didn't know that.
And also,
he's a disgrace.
The White Plains Diner.
Yeah, that's open.
Is open all night.
That's open all night. Yeah.
You're talking about city limits? No, that's not New Rochelle.
The White Plains Diner.
On Westchester Avenue, just as you're going into White Plains, on the right side.
But it's true. I mean, the idea of people being out there, and especially in the summer, especially in what heat we're going to feel in the coming week. I remember people would be going down to Foxhole and are coming home 11:30, 12 o'clock, toward 1 o'clock. People all sitting out on stoops, drinking beer, pizza. It was just, you were out. It was hot.
It was hot. You got to be outside.
Now it's like, where are you? Where are you?
I just don't know.
They've all become rump roasts. They're covered in friggin', what do you call it? Tin foil, sitting with the air conditioning. Just rotate me. Rotate me. That's what's happened to people. The whole world is a rump roast. Get up, carve yourself some legs and arms, and start living.
That's good. That's what I say. Let's get to some super chats, and then we'll open up for some calls if they want to call in.
Please tell them to call in.
All right. Jay Semo says Kokomo was written by Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas with Mike Love. Okay. And Jay Semo again says, do you remember the Wild Mouse?
Of course.
At the Playland, right? You guys were telling me about the Wild Mouse.
It was.
I remember that. Yeah.
Did you ever go on that one? Yeah. I never went on that one. Wasn't it scarier because it was?
As a matter of fact, I have video when I took Sherry and Nikki and Joey to Playland. We all went on the Wild Mouse.
Huh.
It was scarier because it was more exposed, right?
It was separate from the Dragon Coaster. You're not talking into the mic. You're not talking into mic. You're not talking into the mic. Talk into the mic.
So
it was similar. It looked like it was going to go off the rail, but then it turned. That's it. Of course, you also hurt your neck because it turned so fast.
Right. I've heard that. I've heard that.
But it was separate from the Dragon Coaster.
Oh,
it was something else. It wasn't like rebranded.
Right.
It was always the Dragon Coaster?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's still one of the oldest wooden, if not the oldest wooden.
It might
and
be.
Not working this summer at all.
It's what? It's not working?
It's one of the rides that are not going.
Nope. What, Dragon Coaster?
Shit.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I knew that we were going to go. As long as Kittyland is open, we just let Aurora run around. But
I think they're valiantly, I give them credit to keep it alive, to do whatever they can this year, and then regroup.
Fireworks start this weekend and all through the summer.
Oh, that's nice.
On Fridays?
Friday and Saturday.
Okay, good.
All
I
summer,
have a couple of summer
and then
Fridays.
The 4th of July.
Good.
I have a couple of summer Fridays that are on the books already, so that will take Aurora to. All right, that's good. Jay Britz again says, great Saturday night special, Frank and family. Take me back to the 60s. ST says there's not enough money to express. Hold on. First of all, let me put the open line up on the screen. 914-200-0269. Give us a call. Leave a thought. Ask a question. ST says there's not enough money to express how wonderful this show is with you all. So special. Thank you for sharing your family with us, Frank. God bless you all. Thank you, ST. Thank you. And Star Karma, thank you for the tip. Also, oh no, that's it. That's the end over there. Over on quitefrankly.tv. Let me see here. Let me get through these gold pills a little bit. Let me see. And I'll make sure the open line is up on my end as well. Let's see. Vesper says, here's to 4 damn good-looking men. God bless you all. Thank you, Vesper. Very nice of you. P-Quest, thank you. And Rev says, happy Catterday, Anthony. Catterday. Yeah.
Is that what? That's what today is.
Someone calling?
It's for cat. Hold on. Yeah, we're getting some calls that are coming in right now. They're popping up. All the calls are popping up on different screens.
Come on, Jody.
I'm having a lot of.
Bless their little hearts.
Hold on. We'll get to them in a second. There's a few calls coming in, but let's see here. Happy Catterday, Anthony, cousin Jeff, Father Valbiro, and Frankie V. Listening live for the moment, but no, I'll need to catch the bulk of this nostalgia summer retrospective later. Peace. And yeah, there you go. Rev. Thank you so much, Rev. Amethyst Cat says, hello, Frank and family. This is the very best of nights. Thank you for making us feel like family. I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself.
Lovely?
Yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself. We'll take them as they come. Actually, before we get into the calls, which I'm trying to prioritize some 914s and 213s first. Because we're just going to do like maybe 15, 20 more minutes. But I wanted to ask you guys a question. Here's one of the last things, of course, whatever the hell comes. There's another question. Let me get to a question from, I think, Justin first, our cousin.
Oh.
Okay. He said, I always wonder what the story was behind that old, non-running, rusted-out GMC pickup truck that was gracefully given a second life as a Fox Island lawn ornament. It did go nicely with the clotheslines and the occasional deer hanging off of the pole, but what was going on? Yeah, we always would sit in that red pickup truck in the backyard, but what was that deal?
That must have been the
construction company truck, right?
Their construction company. Miranda DeVito.
What year was it? It had to be 40s, 50s?
No. I would say that was from the maybe early 60s.
Yeah, I would say, that sounds right.
I just remember being very old, and we used to go in there every once in a while when there wasn't a beehive in it.
Did you remember that it was hand painted with Miranda DeVito?
I don't remember. Let's take a call. Hold on. We got a 914. 914, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, it's cousin Jody.
Jody! Hi!
I'm calling.
Hi.
I'm calling for my cousin Marianne. Where is she?
She wants Marianne.
She wants Marianne.
She's sitting on the couch, but she cannot hear you because she doesn't have headphones on.
I'm calling for all of you guys, actually.
Okay, hold on.
I want to talk about Playland.
Wait. Just for a second, just lower the stream a little bit so we don't hear that, and then just talk right into the microphone of the phone so we can hear you nice.
Okay, I'm for that.
Perfect. Get right up on that receiver. Go ahead.
So I want to address this to Marianne and Anthony and Jeff. The wild mouse, is that what it's called in Playland? Didn't someone get killed on that?
I sort of remember that.
You remember? It went right off that one spot where you go up and it looks like you're going to fall off. Do you remember?
I think somebody did. Killed. I sort of remember that.
Playland has a pretty ridiculous death count. It really does. I mean, I think I think the old mill and the
old mill
has killed quite a few people, and the mine scrambler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, the scrambler did too.
Yeah. Oh, the scrambler killed at least 2 people.
Oh my God! I used to get such a stiff neck and nauseous on that damn thing. But somebody got killed on the wild mouse.
I think so.
And I remember they closed it down, and then when they rebuilt it. I used to go on all the time with my high school boyfriend, Dave Rodriguez. Remember?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, Dave.
So we'd go on the wild mouse, and then when we get to that top part where they had like a canopy, there's like a canopy kind of stopped before it turned. That's where the car had fallen.
Yeah,
off.
I sort of remember that.
And I used to scream every time we got to that. I mean, it was just sitting there under the canopy, but I used to scream because that's where it fell off. Somebody died. Some girl died.
Yeah. I'm looking for anything I can on this. I'm sure I'll find something if I keep digging. But
maybe Frank, it was called something else. Maybe it was the Crazy Cat or something. Was it called something else before the wild mouse? Maybe.
Was it called Crazy?
It had a very bad stigma after that person died, so they changed it to maybe the wild mouse. But it definitely.
I sort of remember that.
And as for the dragon coaster, my father told me it was the airplane coaster. It was even faster when our parents were young. Really fast, much faster than the dragon coaster. Yeah, it was called the airplane coaster, and then they changed it and they slowed it down a little.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So anyway, you guys, I'm really enjoying the show. So many wonderful memories. Yes, your pool, Anthony, was sunny in the 60s and 70s.
Yes, it was.
I'm glad somebody had memories of that. We never got sunny pools.
I know because the trees were so big by the time you guys were born.
Yeah,
that's true.
But when we were young, Pamela and I used to have like wild colored bikinis, and we'd go underwater and pretend we were Wiki Watchy. Yeah.
Well,
I remember my mother gave me her crucifix she got in 1939 for her confirmation from her godmother, and your mother found it in the pool, and she said, "Roseanne,
I remember that.
Your daughter's wearing the cross, and it's at the bottom of my pool. It almost wet in the filter." My mother took it back after that, and she gave it back to me on my wedding day. On my wedding day.
Oh, really? Oh, my
Years
God.
later, because I needed something old under my dress. And
Yeah.
You couldn't see it because, like Mary Ann's gown, it was like higher neck, so you couldn't see the little cross.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had it ever. But anyway, I love you guys.
Well, this
Love
was
you
wonderful.
too. Thank you for calling.
And I love Frank, and Frankie, I have to tell you, every time I tell anyone on social media, "Oh yes, Frankie is my little cousin," they oh my God, you're related to Frank. I love Frank.
You might be talking about Anthony. Are you sure you're not talking?
Why not? Why can't you be talking about you?
It's more likely she's talking. It's more likely you're talking. You get that about Anthony though. I don't know, a little bit more widespread. But hey, if it's true.
Well, as for Anthony, that's the music. When my son was still living around here.
Well, that's interesting.
Hours up now, but he was at Guitar Center, and when Anthony, you were on the cover of Rolling Stone or something, right?
He was in Rolling Stone. In Rolling Stone.
You were in Rolling Stone. So anyway, the guys at Danbury Guitar Center were looking at Anthony, and my son says, "That's my cousin." And they was like, "No, it isn't. Don't lie, Joe. That's not your cousin."
Wow.
No, that's my cousin. And so he had to call me and say, "Mom, you're on speaker. Tell the guys how I'm related to Anthony."
Oh, well,
and I had to explain it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anthony's a huge celebrity.
Well, thank you for that. That's heartwarming.
Oh, no. Anthony, you're so damn talented, and you're handsome. You look like Aramis from the Three Musketeers.
Oh, thank you.
Frankie looks like Andy Pettit.
Oh, Andy Pettit.
You're such handsome. You're such handsome.
The right-handed Andy Pettit. Well, I appreciate the call, Jody, and call in again on any other night.
What's that?
Call in again on any other night.
I will. Okay, we'll talk politics next.
Oh yeah, that sounds.
Okay. Love you guys.
Take care.
Love you too, Jody. Take care,
We're going
cuz.
to be at the wedding. See you at Lexi's wedding soon.
Okay, thanks, Jody.
See ya. Wow, we had a family member call in.
That's nice.
That's great. All right. Well, okay. So here's the question I wanted to leave you guys. I was looking for that 914. Last night, and this is the last thing we'll do together. Last night I did a show. I made a topic where I wanted people to pretty much leave voicemails in a time capsule for people 100 years down the line. And in this message that people were going to call in and talk to maybe a future civilization or something like that, they had to explain something about life today that someone from the future looking back at us may be confused about. And if you can go back, I'm gonna tailor this to you guys. If you can go back to the 60s and the 70s and leave a message for a future, like an alien race or whatever, that's like picking through the ashes of us and explaining any number of either fashion fads or strange appliances that you used to use or anything else that marked the time but really made little sense in the long run, like anything that you look back on and say, oh my gosh, I have to explain this because it doesn't make any sense to people who don't have context. What would you leave in that message? If you look back and you say, I don't know, is it a certain type of hair product or a certain thing that people were doing to keep themselves fit? An exercise that is actually really stupid, clothing, like I said, an appliance. I don't know. What would you explain? Is there anything that you could pick out of there that's just absurd, that went away, it's a mark of the time, that you'd like to apologize for?
I don't know. There's so many things.
Well, I figure you guys would be able to pick one or two out.
The only thing I'm thinking of right off the top of my head is cigarettes and the tremendous amount of cigarette smoking that went on in the 60s. And I would offer an apology to future generations that were affected by that.
Well, you know what? There's far fewer people who are smoking cigarettes. There really are. There are far fewer. There's still a lot. But I have to imagine that, I remember there's a lot of people that started smoking really, really young back then. You can imagine there was a little bit more. I mean, the doctors were recommending cigarettes still.
Weren't doctors like working on people while they were smoking?
Yeah, they're still recommending that this is doctor recommended 4 out of 5 doctors, like toothpaste or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would apologize.
Curl-free. Maybe curl-free.
For the heavy cigarette usage back then, and even other tobacco products like pipe smoking and cigar smoking.
I gotta say, I always wanted to puff on a pipe at least once. It's like a cigar. You're not in, whenever I have been around somebody has opened up a bag of pipe tobacco, it has always smelled so smooth and sweet. I've never been around,
right? Like
a mocha, like it's it almost smells like a chocolatey potpourri. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, there is a pipe in the house on display.
If I want to use it,
it's Grandpa's pipe.
If you want to come by and use it,
he did have pipes and a humidor. I don't remember him. Maybe he smoked a pipe.
We used to play with his pipes.
You did.
We were probably the reason why there's only one left.
Yeah, there's only one left
because it used to be on that rotating pipe thing.
Yeah,
there's all pipes that were like
with the humidor in the middle.
Right. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, there was a brown glass humidor where I guess the tobacco, but he never really. I don't remember. Maybe he did for a little while. But, I mean, that's a good point. I'm thinking about things that maybe people wouldn't, like curl-free, where we burned our scalps, almost killed ourselves to make our hair straight.
You wanted to have straight hair back?
Are you kidding? Everybody did. This was the 60s.
You know what? Even I wish at one point I could have straight hair because I always wanted to headbang.
So, we would burn our heads. And then for like one day, I would look like Heckle and Jekyll. And then after that, it started to slowly creep up again. Creep up. But you literally would burn your scalp. I don't know how my hair remained because of that. But there was also the dry look. The dry look. We had a comb, the brush, the automatic brush to give you the dry look that looked like you didn't have any kind of product in your hair. Dippity-doo.
Oh, I even used Dippity-Doo. I mean, that was just gel though, right?
Yeah, Dippity-Doo.
I know that was just gel.
Will gauchos ever come back?
What are those?
Wow. Every woman wore black velvet gauchos and boots. Jody will attest to this with Pamela. I don't know if Marianne had gauchos.
Is that like a?
You never had gauchos?
Mom, talk into the microphone, please.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Gauchos were like a gaucho, like a
cowboy?
cowboy. They were big, wide, shorter pants, and you wore black boots with them or whatever, a little bolero vest, maxi coats, like you were guards from the Wizard of Oz. Literally to your ankles, women were wearing maxi coats, maxi dresses.
They were warm.
You had a maxi coat.
Yeah, they were warm.
Okay, there you go.
Well, if they're warm, they're warm.
It was all of these.
Pea coats came back when we were in high school. Pea coats came back really, really hard.
Hot pants. Are we ever going to see hot pants come back? Mary, your mother wore hot pants.
What's the difference between what we're seeing? Everybody has like pants painted onto them these days.
No,
What's
these
hot
were
pants?
microscopic shorts.
Hot pants.
And you wore them with
Good
either
God.
Roman sandals or...
And your ass cheeks were sticking out, and the zipper was maybe an inch.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
And you wore it with a pucker blouse.
Well,
Don't
okay.
you remember this?
I
Jeff?
absolutely. I'm sitting here soaking it all in.
20
My friend Barb just texted me and said we would have to explain people who had pet rocks. What were the purposes of pet rocks back in the day?
It was a some kind of a
Made a lot of money.
advertising stunt.
Yeah.
Literally, if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, they said, I dare you to find something that you could sell that will really sell something like this. And this one guy said, okay, I'm going to box a pet rock. I'm going to put it in a bed of grass and sell it. And it sold.
It sold a lot.
A lot.
It sold a lot.
Wow.
Lauren just texted me. She refuses to call in for some reason. She says it has all come back and is coming back around again. I would wear capri gaucho pants in college.
Of course.
I don't even know the hell
Do you hear the guns, Fernando? You'd have ABBA, and there would be Pamela and Jody back to back in my mother's mirror with black velvet gauchos and boots, ready to go out. Gauchos.
to protest the Diamond Club.
What about the pants? In the disco era, literally, you could see
Palazzo pants.
The what?
Palazzo pants.
Palazzo pants, the big elephant belled pants, and you could see every vein of someone's genitals.
Wait, hold on. Palazzo. It seems that they're back. Look, they're back. They're selling
There
them
you
right.
go.
They're selling them right now for $39 on Old Navy. No,
You
25.
gotta be kidding.
They're back.
They're back.
First
There
of all,
they are.
we were wearing bell bottoms came back like legit bell bottoms, and then
In the early 2000s.
in early 2000, and then they got it was like became like a caricature bell bottoms in the early 2000s because it became like you had the jeans. It started like widening out around the calf and all that stuff, and then it became so
Massive.
exaggerated.
I had a pair of them myself.
Where sometimes it looked like people were walking around in jean dresses, but then you realize, oh my God, there are two legs in this
Exactly.
equation. It wasn't a dress. It was
Exactly.
very like Hot Topic.
And then
though.
you had cuffed. Picture me. I wonder why people were ready to beat the shit out of me. I had Kelly green, high-waisted, crushed velvet with big cuffs. They were this big on the bottom, elephant bells. And in those days, in the early 70s, the shirts were elastic up to here.
Elephant bell bottoms, $98 right now on Free People.
Oh, my God. There was elastic shirts It was all elastic. Then it went to a regular shirt up here with big arms. The weirdest, the different fashions we've been through.
Nehru jackets.
Nehru jackets.
Nehru jackets.
I had it.
What's that, Jeff?
It was like a sport coat, but it had a very thin collar.
It had a mandarin collar.
Like a priest.
It was after.
That's right.
What was the name of the guy who was a famous somebody in politics? Nehru was his name.
Was he Japanese?
His name.
I don't remember, but that's where Nehru's became popular. Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra. Everybody was wearing Nehru suits. I had iridescent.
I had a Nehru dress, and I'd wear my peace sign with it.
Of course. And then there was iridescent. All the fabrics were iridescent. You looked like you were some kind of mackerel.
I was going to say you're like an oil slick.
You look like an oil slick. It went from blue to gold or red to blue. All your pants, your coats, you wanted an iridescent suit. I wanted an iridescent suit. I'm telling you.
It was like a candy.
But you know what? I don't think it's the same way. Then everything was dictated. Fashion dictated what you were supposed to wear for Easter, whatever. The Beatles, the collarless suits, forget it.
Well, you know, we started with music. Let's end with music. It's
Okay.
It's 10:33. I went and I grabbed, since you guys brought up God Only Knows, I went and I grabbed what is an acapella.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So we can listen just to this. Here we go. I mean, geez.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's a good way to end this one. I'm really happy we got together for a summer. We got to get together for a fall edition now, sometime around maybe Columbus Day, so we can look. We can look at the rest of the end of summer 1993 or something like that. I'll keep picking through it, but this was wonderful. Jeff, is there anything you want to tell people before you leave? I know you got your shows, and maybe let everybody know how to listen and give us some parting shots.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you. Building Knowledge with the Building and Realty Institute is a podcast series of the Building and Realty Institute. I am the Associate Executive Director of the Building and Realty Institute. The show I just mentioned, the podcast show, can be found on Apple, Spotify, and buildersinstitute.org. I am the host of the series, and we cover issues that affect the building, realty, and construction industries. We tape a show every week. Again, you can find it on Apple, Spotify, and buildersinstitute.org. Building Knowledge with the Building and Realty Institute. Frank and Anthony, I want to thank you guys, and Anthony Jr. I want to thank, and Marion. I want to thank you guys for having me on. This has just been a tremendous experience. Episode 2 of all of us together, and I look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, you know, I was talking about this with Dad and Anthony and Mom. It was, I don't know, it had to be around December or something. I was like, you know, got to get Jeff in for a show, and it would turn into a series of stuff there too. And I know that you do your real estate and all the other very niche podcasts there, but I mean, you talk so nicely about culture and you know, stories from growing up. I think you should do something. You should definitely look into doing something on the side that's a little bit more personal like that. It would be good.
Thanks. For saying that.
To complement everything else, it'd be good. Especially if you and Dad did it together. That'd be nice.
That would be great.
Give you guys a project to do. Dad, any parting shots?
Just that something I realized today and over the last 2 days. I don't know if it's age. I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but everyone should just stop and look around at the unbelievable glory of the season, of the summer, of the everywhere you turn, there's a picture. It's the start of summer, and really, it doesn't last that long. This is the best part. Before anything really happens. It doesn't last that long.
What the hell does
and
that?
thank you, dear, whoever the hell you are.
That's a great, very poignant message. Anthony, anything from you? I'm happy you were able to sit in tonight.
Yeah, I'm just here listening. Happy summer. Happy first day of summer, everybody.
Happy first weekend. Happy first weekend.
This is actually the official first day of summer, right?
Well, wasn't it yesterday?
It's the first full day of summer.
Because what time yesterday was
10 something last night.
Yeah. 10 p.m. was the solstice?
June 20th.
solstice?
Yeah, June 20th.
Okay, so this is the first full day.
Yeah.
Okay, so then today was the longest day then?
No,
21st.
yesterday it was.
Yesterday was.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
And it's the first time in 200 some odd years since 17 something that it fell on June 20th instead of the 21st.
Wow.
But let me ask you this. If we officially, as far as planetary positioning and whatever determines the solstice in full effect, if that happened after 10 p.m., then how would yesterday be wouldn't today be the longest day?
I don't know.
Because sun sets like 9 o'clock. And if this happened the solstice was an hour afterwards, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a 60-second difference anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was wonderful. Mom, anything you want to add as a parting shot?
No, everybody just enjoy the summer.
There you go.
It does go by quickly.
It does.
It's almost Christmas.
Yeah. Well, it's Christmas in July on Hallmark begins.
Yeah.
Very famously, everybody gets updates from me on the Hallmark movies we watch on Sundays and rip apart. People get a lot of updates from me on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've
Good.
talked about it. One night we should get together and we should find a way to interview a Hallmark actor.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, we'll do it. And I can't wait to just get everybody back in the studio, especially you, Jeff, and Dad and Mom. And this was nice. So
a lot of fun.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys and gals at home. Thank you to all the those who had sent super chat. Jay Semo says, great show. Brought back lots of memories. Dad is like my brother. He's the family historian. And we all have to keep it together and share the stories. That's the tradition. That's what it was before we had the big institutes. We had the campfire.
Yeah.
And that's what this is like. So enjoy the night, and we'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you guys on Monday night, 7 o'clock. And goodbye.